because people always ask about it. So it's Opus 25, number 6. And I'll tell you what people usually do. And it's very interesting. I always like to make the point of how similar we are. We are very similar. We have differences, but we learn very similarly. And we have very similar questions. Even if someone is very, very advanced, somebody is less advanced, the questions are very similar. So for example, in something like this, people usually would want to do left, right, something like that, which is what happens when we have single note trills. That's exactly what happens. We go left, right, and that's what gives us the speed. The forearm is in one direction, single rotation. If you do the same thing on double notes, any double notes, what happens, the arm is really off. It's off balance. When we do, we begin to sound.
Edna, you're frozen. Just going to call her back.
It's a double rotation. It's this way. And the reason again that when you're going this way to the left, you get the full balance. You're really balanced over both fingers equally. You're not going to the left this way. You're coming from the left and playing down. So if you want to make it very big, this is what it looks like. You know, I'm getting off my thumb and I'm getting off the second finger, but it's really not necessary if the forearm is nice and free. You can just feel it left, 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 left. And what also happens as you come down to each one, you're getting the part of the walking hand and arm, two parts actually. One is that it moves a little bit over to the 2-5 and it comes down. It's a down, 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 left, left. There is another, I would say, hidden or invisible aspect. Most people, when they have the black key, they go like this way. And it's an opposite in and out. When we play, the interval that we play with the thumb, there's a sense of a slight forward balance. When I'm playing it with 1-3 and 2-5, some people play with 1-4, 2-5. If you're using something similar to what I'm using, the interval with the 1 is a little bit forward. The other one is a little bit out, but it's very, very, now, that has to work with the rotation. So when I show you different movements, they all work together, which is one of the problems. It took 300 years for someone to begin to uncover what's actually happening, because nothing much is happening to the eye watching it. So it's the rotation a little bit in and out. And as I'm coming a little bit out, I'm also getting a little bit higher. This is part of the shaping, which swings me right back to the 1-3. And it becomes very, very, it feels actually at the end, I can feel those things in absolutely minute way, but it feels very still. It doesn't feel still stuck, but the amount of all of those things is very, very small. And as we go up the scale, this is where understanding the rotation is so crucial, because if you begin to go like this, you know, you're going to twist and you're completely off the notes. So as I'm turning back, my forearm always is walking with me. And my torso at the same time also. If I start doing all of this and the arm is moving away from me, I can't stress it enough how important it is for it to follow in the appropriate amount. If you go too far, you're not where you should be to feel really stable, and so on. And when we go down any of those things, we turn over. We really have to get off the finger on the top so that we can roll over, rotate over. But instead of turning back as we would in single notes, we do this and we play to the left and to the left and to the left. And it's the interesting phenomena that we learned to come to get off, not too soon and not too late, because if we stay there, we can't turn, we can't cross. And with a little bit of shaping, it's sounds legato. So I don't know if I will get to it. I wanted to spend a little time on the number 3, number 10, opus 10, number 3, to talk about the issue of what is a little bit of what is legato and what happens when we have fingerings that create stretching, because, we think that legato has to do always with finger connection. And sometimes that's possible, and many times it's not possible. What's very useful also in those things, I use this finger, as you can see, 2, 4, 1, 3, 3, 5. And I can connect to 2, 4, to 1, 3, but then I go to 1, 2. Very important to get off the thumb so that it can go to the next note. We are often not realistic and we hang on and then we can't get to where we're going. And when you're connecting, even with one finger, like in this case from the thumb, and in this case from 3 to 2, but the thumb has to get off, it also helps to sound legato. And if I give the sound to the 2, so as you see, I'm getting off and I still sound legato, which is quite a trick. So we have to be very realistic where we can connect and where we can't connect. I'm going to leave this and move on. So this is again just touching on it. And I want to go to one that we rarely